Okay, so this is where we are building the platform for the safari tent. Gonna go right here. Gonna be the background. I'll show you the view in a bit. Nice valley. The creek is over here. Our other tents are up the hill here. This is where we're gonna lay the timbers with my son Zach. You want to come and say hi? My cool son Zach. He's my coolest son. Don't tell that to the other sons. All right, let's go.
Okay, let's make a note on permitting. This will be my fourth safari tent, and I've learned a lot in building safari tents on my glamping property. My first 3 tents were done the traditional way on decks. If you watch YouTube videos on YouTube on what most people are building, they're building decks and they're putting the tent on top of those decks. Now, I learned that decks need to be permitted. In my county, anything over 200 square feet needs a permit, and they're $500 each. I learned that raised beds was a nice workaround. I even worked with my enforcement officer on it, and I asked him point blank, well, what if I put it on a raised bed? And he said, that's fine. You don't have to get that permitted. And that actually has worked much better. 2 of my 3 original decks have already been torn down and rebuilt with raised beds, and I plan to do the same with the other one very soon. I will still have a deck on it, but it'll be smaller. It'll be under 200 square feet. It'll be a 14 by 8 off the front of it, and that won't need to be permitted. So it's kind of a workaround, but it actually turns out to be better than the real deal if I actually built a deck. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I would encourage you in your permitting to make sure you are doing this right in your area so that you don't have to rebuild like I needed to do. Now, to prep this, I need to have a level and squared off platform sized to the tent that I have on order. Now, my tent is a Davis tent. It's a 14 by 15. It'll be 210 square feet. See, that's just over the square footage of a permit. And Zach and I laid the back timbers first, taking great care to make sure it was level. We could backfill in where needed, and then we made sure the platform was square. We did this by measuring corner to corner perfectly, and this gives you a perfect square, so that wouldn't be, what would that be, a polygon or whatever? It wouldn't be perfectly square. That's what I needed to do. See, eventually the tent, quote-unquote, stakes will be screws that drill through the grommets into the timbers, and I'll show you that on a later video when we actually raise the tent. I can't express enough how much I appreciate connecting with my teenagers through good old-fashioned work in the yard. I take the time to show the tricks of the handyman's trade. Zach is my 6th of 7 sons. All of his older brothers are extremely gifted contractor types who can pretty much build anything, and Zach will certainly follow suit. Now, up till now, we didn't have anything screwed together, focusing instead on cutting everything to size, leveling and squaring off as perfectly as possible. I screwed the joints together with cut pieces of decking board, really merely to hold the timbers together. The dirt actually fills the foundation, so just holding them together is all I needed. But I used 8-inch headlock screws to give a firm bond at the corners. We backfilled as we built, and sawed and screwed, constantly using the level to keep things rolling along levelly. It was lovely. Lovely. It was a lovely experience. Altogether, the project took about 2 hours, and now that it's finished, we will be ready to fill, and that's where the other teenagers will come in very, very handy in the development of this project.
Okay, so the foundation is built. Now we've got level square and level platform, 14 by 15, which is the tent will sit on. You'll see that in a little bit. Now it's just a matter of filling in, and that's why I keep my teenagers. How long do you think it'll take?
An hour.
Hour? Okay, let's do it.
Well, it took more than an hour, but it took a few hours. But boy, did we have fun. Teenagers are awesome. I kind of kid around and say I only keep you for hard labor. But I must say, if you're a glamping host who wants to develop a family business with glamping and like we are doing, I invite you to include them into the development of the projects as well as the money making of the projects. Each of our kids have their own tents, and they monitor them and clean them and develop them, and we have a pay scale of how much money they make with each of the cleans, and they are a vested part of the whole business. And it's wonderful. So this was a project needed to get done. It will add to the bottom line of our entire glamping operation, and I count it all joy to have them be a part of our family business. So that's it. We've got the platform built. It's leveled off. It's ready to roll. And now we are on to the next video, which will be the deck. And I think my kids are going to go out and swim and enjoy their friends for a while I build the deck. So let's go to that one tomorrow.